All right, we're going to be looking at game 4 now. We're almost through this 5-game series. And it's my first time watching all of these games, so I'm having a lot of fun, actually. I managed to fix my pen in between games, but I can't promise that it'll work forever. I think the battery is low, so that's my problem. So I'll try and run through these last 2 games quickly, so that I'm able to use my pen the whole time, so that the VOD review is more visual as well as vocal. Since the game 3 was very vocal, I had to explain everything, and I wasn't able to write everything. But let's go ahead, get back in here. So SKT are back on red side. So they were in red side last game. And I don't know who chose. I don't know who's choosing sides. But whoever's choosing sides put SKT on red side again. And KT on blue side. I think, actually, you know what? I think KT's choosing sides, because it's a 5-game series, and KT was already in that spot, and SKT is moving up through the playoffs. So KT probably had game 1, then game 2, game 3, game 4. So I think SKT chose red for this. Anyway, KT starts with the Cassiopeia ban. SKT responds with the Shen ban. Lucian ban. This is exactly how we saw it last game. Galio ban. Nothing changed. And KT actually opted to ban the Rakan this game, which is really interesting. And SKT can choose to ban Zac here, or they can ban whatever they want and give Zac away, and I guess pick Gragas. That's an option too. Running down the clock here, they banned Kalista. So will KT pick Zac? Yes, they picked Zac. All right, so that means SKT is going to respond with Gragas. At least I think SKT will respond with Gragas. If they have another response to Zac, then I would love to be pleasantly surprised. Starting off with the Tristana, okay. Keeping up with the Tristana, this will be the 4th game in a row that SKT has Tristana, and we remember in the Samsung Galaxy games, Samsung Galaxy actually picked Tristana all 3 of their games as well. So very high priority on the Tristana in LCK. And they do pick up the Gragas, and that is my recommendation for against Zac. Just because his E takes priority over Zac E, and you can counter gank really well. And you have a little bit more damage than Zac, so you can invade Zac, you can bully him. So KT is actually opting to pick the Caitlyn this game, and I would not be surprised if they did that, because it's going to guarantee them the win in bottom lane. So alright, so KT wins bot. So Deft is going to be playing on the Caitlyn, and they're going to pick up Thresh too. That would be really safe. Okay, so now they have a 1 bottom lane. I don't care what the matchup is, because it frankly doesn't matter what support SKT pick. It's just that Caitlyn can naturally win lane by herself. So SKT opt for the Blitzcrank, and what's particularly interesting about this is that it actually, okay, so I may have spoke too soon as when I said it doesn't matter what SKT pick. It's that remember I talked about in one of the previous videos that there is a there are win conditions in your lane as well. There's win conditions to every play, right? And in the bot lane right now, when you see Thresh versus Blitzcrank, you say whoever hits Q on the enemy ADC wins. So this is going to be really interesting bottom lane. I just don't really, I don't think of Blitzcrank a lot because I really only think of him as cheese. He's really kind of cheese. So SKT banned the LeBlanc, saying that they don't want to deal with it. LeBlanc's really annoying. That's all right. I'm surprised we haven't seen Talia in any of these games. Really? Or I guess we saw Talia, but she's much less popular than I expected her to be. So KT bans the Cho'Gath because SKT, remember, gets the first pick after the second bans phase. So they ban Cho'Gath. SKT bans Trundle. And again, SKT puts more priority on Trundle than literally every other team for some reason. And this, well, I mean, not just for some reason. I think Trundle is really strong, and I wish more teams would use Trundle, but it's not going to be picked. So, and KT drop out the Maokai. So a lot of power picks are gone. Gallia's gone, Shen's gone, Kallista's gone, Trundle's gone, Maokai's gone, Rakan, Cassiopeia, and Cho'Gath. And there are so many power picks that were banned this draft. It's crazy. Looks like they're going to be picking up the Corki for Faker again. Faker felt really comfortable with that last game. And looks like KT will be picking up Talia, maybe. There's no way. Not Kog'Maw mid. There's no way. Anivia. Nope. It's funny how like I haven't really seen these games, so it's like, oh, I just mentioned the fact that I miss Talia, and here's Talia, and Talia is really good at early cheesing, and she's really good because of her ultimate. So we're gonna see some interesting stuff this game for sure. And they go ahead and they lock in the Renekton, so they're gonna be looking to win top hard. It doesn't. So there's a lot of picks on the table for SKT. Gnar would probably be the one pick that Renekton can't bully 100%. Because Renekton generally wins lane. So you have to really think about what you're drafting into him. Because if Renekton gets too far ahead, he can end up carrying a lot of games by himself. All right, let's talk about the draft. So in the top lane matchup, we see that this is going to be a skill matchup. It's really going to depend. Renekton has a little bit of burst that Kennen can't really outplay. Or not Kennen. Jesus Christ. I was thinking Kennen because is one of the picks into Renekton. But Renekton has a little bit of burst and can do some early cheesing onto Gnar. So in the early levels, actually not all the early levels, when Renekton okay, so Gnar wins level 1 and 2, but Renekton wins level 3, and then like around level 5-ish, Gnar starts winning again, but then like level 6, I think Renekton wins again. Unless Gnar is able to ult him into a wall. And remember, that's a conditional win. Because Gnar is not always going to be able to ult Renekton into a wall. So that's a conditional thing. Whereas Renekton doesn't have any conditional... well, he has a couple conditional things with his Q and his E. But he doesn't have any conditional CC or conditional damage. Anyway, as far as the mid lane matchup... Talia wins early, but again, when Corki hits Triforce, he wins. And my pen is it's dying. It's definitely a dead battery. I can feel it. So in the bottom lane, you're gonna see this conditional win thing where Kate will naturally win. But Blitz can cheese her. So you're gonna be, oh my god, if there is any fucking Blitzcrank cheese this game, I'm gonna puke. But so let's talk about the jungle. So Score is going to want to camp top lane because he's gonna want to get Renekton ahead so that Renekton can constantly bully Gnar, and then Renekton can kind of win the game by himself because he can constantly push Gnar out of lane and constantly abuse. And Renekton, with damage and being ahead, can one-shot ADCs and mid laners easily. He's also gonna want to gank mid lane, mostly because he if he can get the Talia snowballing. So both of these are snowball champs, and this is kind of a common theme for KT. KT seems to be running a lot of snowball, and maybe that's because that's generally what people recommend when they're like, hey, how do we beat SKT? Well, if we win the early game and we snowball really hard, then we can probably win. But SKT is very strong in that sense where they don't allow the snowball. But if KT can successfully perform that, then they're able to win. Zac has to be careful ganking bottom lane because of the Blitzcrank and the Gragas. Because again, this is going to be another game where Gragas is focused on counter ganking. Oh my god. So as Gragas is focused on counter ganks, this team is the same as the last team. You have two frontline tanks. Well, one of them is a bruiser, depending on how you build Gnar. Gnar eventually turns into a primary tank, but a lot of people do like to build that black cleaver on Gnar. So he's a bruiser while he has that damage. And then you have a kind of tanky support, but it's mainly a cheese support. So Playmaker, so you have Playmaker, double backline, double frontline. And this is the exact same team comp that we saw last game, just with a couple different champions. And as for KT, they have double backline, one frontline, Playmaker, and then Bruiser. Renekton's going to continue to be a Bruiser for the whole game. He doesn't really turn into a super tank. Whereas like Gnar turns into a super tank just because his passive gives him 700 HP extra, so he can focus a lot more resistances. But Zac will turn into a super tank as long as he focuses all that. So double backline, one front line, Playmaker, Bruiser. Bruiser in the beginning, but turns into a front line, double backline, Playmaker. As I was saying, KT has to focus top and mid and get top and mid ahead. SKT has to counter gank and make sure that doesn't happen. And Blank also can gank bottom lane aggressively. If Score happens to be in top or bot, or if he gets vision and scores jungle and scores, say, at his wolves or at Gromp, then Blank can go ahead and make a play bottom lane, because with the Blitzcrank flash hook and the Gragas flash E, they can definitely get on this Caitlyn, and that's what they're going to be looking for. Also, for KT, you're going to be looking at when Talia hits level 6, they can 5-man bot, and they can tower dive. Because they can cut Bang and Wolf off and keep them under their tower, or well, Bang can jump away, but Wolf can't. And Zac can dive the tower, and then both of these can do lots of damage. And Renekton will only teleport if Gnar teleports. Okay. So that's it. we're gonna go ahead and jump into game. Oh, I went a little too fast there. So we see all standard starts. Nothing interesting here. We do see Blitzcrank with Amulets coin, so we are going to see a little bit of a gold lead, natural gold lead for SKT. And that was really interesting. Talia leashed Wolves for Zach. So Zach started Wolves, and he's going to go to blue. He might go to Gromp after blue and then go for a full clear. Maybe go to race, then red, and then go for a gank. Right after he gets red, he might not go to golems, but he is fairly good at taking golems because golems have a lot of armor, but they don't have a lot of magic resist. Gragas took a standard start. He went from blue, and then he's going to go to wolves, and he's going to go to race and red. And look how Zach is taking both of these right now. Very efficient. Whoa, hook on the Caitlyn. Damage coming out in Adept. Heal has to come out from Deft. What the fuck? I fucking said if I saw any Blitzcrank cheese this game, I was gonna freaking puke. Oh my god. Literally heal at 2 minutes and 48 seconds. And this is huge for SKT because if they can use this lead to take an early Fire Dragon before Talia hits level 6, oh my god. It's crazy that there's a Fire Dragon on the table. We haven't seen any Fire Dragons actually this series. This is the first Fire Dragon of the series. That's great. Blank went to red and then went to Wraiths. So that's really interesting. So Zach is doing a full clear, it looks like, but he's going to go to red and then he's going to probably looking for a lane. Blank's on his way to top side, but it looks like he's just going to take his golems. We don't know if he could gank top lane, but I don't know. The best time to gank top lane, the best time to gank a Gnar is when he has about half anger bar. Please forgive me, I don't remember what his bar is called. Maybe it's rage, maybe it's not, maybe it's fury, maybe it's not. But he has half of that bar, which means he can start the fight in mini Gnar, and so he can get the movement speed and move on, and then jump on his opponent in Mega Gnar and finish out the gank in Mega Gnar and follow up with the CC that he has in Mega Gnar. Ooh. Gank coming out from Zach. The stretching strikes grabbing Bang and Wolf, and Bang's going to flash out. Score's going to walk back. This is really improper by SKT because normally you would have a ward here. Because there is specific warding techniques for Zach. And that's why Zach is currently the 100% pick ban champion in the game. I really don't think Bang had to flash there. I think he just fucked up. He needed to wait for Zach to use his Q and then W out, or maybe he was flashing out. Caitlyn didn't place a trap, so like I guess he was safe, but I think he was afraid of the Caitlyn trap. Could have been a lot. There were a lot of variations, a lot of permutations. Ooh, Gragas looking for a gank here on mid. There's the flash. You saw the heal come out from Pawn. Pawn has flash, but he's gonna try and get the kill on Faker, and Faker flashes out, and the kill goes over to Gragas. I would have preferred that kill going on Faker, as the gold would have probably been more useful on him. But Faker still gets the lead in the lane. He gets to push out the lane, and oh my god. Oh my god. Why is this happening? What are you doing? Deft? 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 What are you doing? I don't understand. Like, is Deft tilted? Because like, what the actual fuck, Deft? What the actual fuck? I want to see that again. There's no reason for him to be pushed up this far. There's no reason for him to be moving into a corner. Look at his pathing. Look at his fucking shitty pathing. Look at this shitty pathing. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I was trying to capture it so I could draw on it. So what you should be doing, instead of moving back and forth on the fucking wall here, is you know that this is your vector. And you know it's a skill shot. And the way to dodge a skill shot is to travel perpendicular. So what you should have been doing the whole time is, as Thresh, if you wanted to get this fucking tiny little bit of damage on the fucking tower, Thresh keeps running back, places Lantern after... Okay, so Deft never walks in the corner in the first place. Deft starts moving this way right now. Deft literally starts moving this way. Or Thresh throws the Lantern earlier so that Deft can grab it. But, like, everything's wrong. Like, first of all, Deft, you fucked up. You're retarded. Second of all, Mata, you probably should have thrown Lantern a lot earlier than that. And he had... did he have E up? I think he had E up. Yeah, no, Caitlyn had E up. There was no excuse for that blitz hook. No excuse. More cheese. 2 teleports coming out. Gragas is going to be coming in. Bang gets taken out. The Gragas E comes in. Damage is going to be coming out from Blank, but Antara actually canceled his teleport because he realized that he wasn't going to be so useful. And I think that okay, here's the real reason Antara canceled his teleport. If Gragas is here, then what that also means is that Zac could also be here. Because if you notice, there are no wards from SKT everywhere except there. There's wards on a race. So Zac could be anywhere else on the map right now. This is where Zac can be. And if Zac can be somewhere, then he can be dangerous. So that's why Antara canceled teleport and chose to push top lane and instead deny Smeb the CS that Smeb would normally get. Because it's important that Antara gets a little bit of extra CS and a little bit of extra EXP on Smeb right now, since Smeb has an extra kill. But what Antara does have is flash over Smeb. He needs to be hard pushing this lane. I don't know why he isn't hard pushing. Like, look at this minion management. This is not where you want the minion wave to land. Because if the minion wave lands here, then these minions are going to kill the melee minions, and you're going to continue to push into this tower. Whereas if this minion wave goes all the way to here, eventually this minion wave will bounce back. But if with these 3 minions here, when Score can start to freeze this, and then Smeb can perma-freeze. And why Smeb can do that is because Smeb has Phage now, and he has boots, so he's going to be looking for... he can play really aggressively. Smeb can win this lane against Gnar. I'm sorry, I've gone quiet. There's not really anything interesting to say. I mean, due to what happened bottom lane, Caitlyn got a BF sword and Tristana only got pickaxe. I guess that's pretty interesting, because it kind of screws up all the cheese that Blitzcrank was doing, because now Blitzcrank can't cheese because they just don't have enough damage. KT is going to be looking to steal the blue buff. Blank's just hovering by. Blank gets pulled, flayed in. Who got blue? Faker got blue? What the What the fuck? Okay, hold on. So, Blank comes in. This is a 4v4. Who wins this 4v4? Well, if Faker actually gets blue and he has enough mana for the fight, I think that they can win, because SKT Vang and Faker are just going to have a lot of damage, and Faker Rasheen, so he has a lot of extra burst damage. The only problem is Talia in the jungle can have insane DPS. So if the fight becomes an extended fight, I think Talia ends up carrying the fight. But the main priority for SKT is to kill Caitlyn, because Caitlyn's currently stronger than Bang on Tristana, and if they're able to do that, they're able to win the fight. But lag, god damn it. I want to see this. Wow. Faker actually got the blue. Gets burst damage on the Thresh. This Blank. Oh my god, Deft got hit by a pull! Deft? 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 What the fuck? Holy shit, man. This is like I mean, sure, I mean you could say you could say that Wolf is a god. You could say that. But I just I just don't know why. Like that, he's gotten hooked so many times this game. Like, oh my god. Rip the cannon minion. So Corki has Package, Phage, and Sheen. Tristana has BF Sword and Pickaxe. And Corki is Package. So we're probably seeing SKT prioritize Baron. Not Baron. Holy fucking shit. Fire Dragon. Fire Dragon's better than Baron. Or maybe not. Getting some vision control. Get some vision on the blue. Oh, this is really interesting. Oh, here's the pings. See blue side for dragon. Zach just recalls. They're really holding on to this package. Hold on. Sorry, there's something I want to see. What the fuck? God damn it. I want to see Corki. Okay, Corki is the package for another about 30 seconds. So you start to see Gragas moving down towards this dragon. Mata's got vision on the dragon. Faker pushes the mid lane wave. Actually, hold on. Do we see... Faker's about to run out of his package. He might have picked up package prematurely. Yep, there it goes. Yeah, I don't think SKT should fight Dragon without the package. Or without Corki getting Triforce first. The thing is they could have forced Dragon, but I think they were afraid of Smite Steal. Of a 50-50 Smite. Right? Because think about this. If Fire Dragon is the most important objective in the game, because it is, fuck everybody that disagrees with me. You wouldn't want to risk the enemy getting it in any sense. Therefore, if you're going to get Fire Dragon, you want to force a fight for it, and you want to force either the enemy jungler's dead so that you get it no matter what, or you force a fight so that the entire enemy team has to back. So KT goes ahead and they sweep drag. Oh my god. The amount of cheese from this fucking, like, maybe it is Wolf. Maybe Wolf's a god. You know? Holy fucking shit. Gragas, like, they forced Zach to back, and now they get free fire. Like, that, oh my god. And they pulled Zach without vision. That was amazing. I'm impressed. So it's 11 minutes, and just a little update on the game. Corky just finished Triforce. Oh wait, am I missing something? Corky's Triforce, like, he hurts. Oh, that was a good flash by Faker. Oh my god. All right, like, yo, no, real talk. Real talk. Wolf is a monster. Like, this game, Wolf is like carrying. Wolf is the entire game right now. This Blitzcrank is the entire game. Anyway, should I look at this? All right. I should probably look at this. Everybody probably wants me to talk about it. First, I want to talk about the game state. Gnar is even in lane. Corky's up 20 CS, and he's a little bit fed. Bot lane is about even. Caitlyn's up about 8 CS, so that's a couple pink wards. And Blitz has Moby Boots, whereas Thresh does not. So that's a big difference right now. So, okay. How did Gnar manage to get engaged on? So Talia, hold on. Talia might, no, Talia showed up in that pink ward. There's no way Talia didn't show up in that pink ward. Antara just must have not been paying attention. Yeah. So Smeb flash W's with the rage so that he gets it, but Gnar is actually building up his rage bar himself, so he's going to be getting his Mega Gnar in a little bit. And then you see the teleport coming in from Corky, and Corky just now, he did not have this, just now has finished Triforce. So Corky is looking for extended fights on extended fights on extended fights. You also see that Blitzcrank is coming in with Moby Boots. And look at this from Blitzcrank. You see the amazing flash from Faker to flash over the wall to make sure he doesn't get messed up by stretching strikes. And then Wolf is just a monster this game in his positioning and his hooks and everything. And then Renekton tries to re-engage, but he's not able to because he just doesn't have the damage. And Faker is a monster right now because when Corky gets Triforce, nobody can duel him. That is a huge power spike for him. So it was a good try by KT. But the one thing that went wrong for them, let's talk about what they could have done better. First of all, you want Talia ult. You want a Talia ult because you need to get Gnar to use his E, and then you need to wall him away. And that was actually. Oh, wait, what am I doing? What am I doing? I think there was a better way to do this. You could have moved Gnar in this direction, by the way. That could have been better. I don't think it would have made much of a difference, but I'm just being nitpicky right now. But you needed the Talia wall. You needed to, the Zac needs to hit E. If Gnar's going to die, Zac actually has to hit E. And then they choose to take this extended fight, even though they don't know where Blitzcrank is and they don't know where Gragas is, and they've already wasted major cooldowns. Like they've already wasted the Renekton flash, and the pawn has to use heal early, and they have yet to see Gragas and Blitzcrank. And they choose to continue the fight anyway, thinking that that SKT is not have 4 people. Because in every situation where Blitzcrank was bot, KT can win this fight. But in every situation where Blitzcrank isn't bot, he's actually coming to the fight, SKT can win the fight. So this is KT trying to assume something that they really shouldn't have been assuming. And they're also not understanding that they're also playing around the Corki power spike. And one thing they also didn't keep track of was that Faker had teleport up for when they were going to dive Antara. Yeah. So lots of little mistakes by KT that ended up making it look like they made a big mistake. So Corky's probably gonna get no wait, what's he buying? He bought Brawler's Grease and was like, fuck that, I want a dagger and a pink ward. Gnar engaging onto Blank onto Renekton, Blank coming in with the E. Lots of damage going out. The Gragas cask comes out, and Smeb's sitting on a tiny little sliver of health right now, but he's going to die eventually. And there's the Q. How did that happen? That's first blood tower, by the way. Wait, what? This entire river is blue. This entire river is blue. You see Gragas right now. Oh my god. Maybe Smeb's tilted because, like, oh my god. That's depressing to me. Anyway, because Gragas is top, and now that KT knows that there's two top, KT chooses to put Zac and have Talia roam to the bottom lane in order to secure first blood tower. So this is a good rotation by KT. So they realize something bad is happening to them on the top side of the map, so they need to make something good happen to them on the bottom side of the map, and that's what they did. And just a note, Faker has 2 levels on Pawn right now, and Pawn has yet to complete Moral Anomicon, and Faker has the Triforce. Although a little bit of that gold is because he has Merc Dreads, and Faker's Tier 1 boots. So Blank's going to go ahead and start up Rift Herald. He's probably just going to end up soloing it. Gragas is really good at soloing Rift Herald. Antara gets lots of damage on the top lane tower. Might even get top lane tower, actually. He's got a Phage. No, he leaves it. He says, it might be dangerous to take that, so I'm just going to back off a little bit. And that's safe. That's the safe play. That's the no risk play. And remember, SKT has been playing very low risk all playoffs. So SKT go ahead and they roam Tristana mid, and Tristana gets a couple hits on the tower, but whoa. I don't like, oh wait, no, they did have a ward. I was like, does he see that? No, there's a ward here for red side. So SKT setting up a 1-3-1. And this is really good because Gnar can now duel Renekton. Or, well, Gnar may not be able to duel Renekton, but he's able to hold Renekton in lane. And the reason he can do this is because he's ranged. So he just pushes in and he stays at a long enough range so that Renekton isn't able to all in him without going into his minion wave, and then his minion wave would do a lot of damage to Renekton. So Renekton is unable to all in, but Gnar can't all in either because I don't think that he can win that fight, or at least I don't think he can. Maybe if there was like mistakes happening on Renekton's side, which would be weird, but yeah, as you can see, they have similar items. Gnar is obviously holding on to a lot of gold here because if he can finish Black Cleaver and Gnar has a kill on him, that means he has at least enough to finish Black Cleaver, plus 300 extra gold, plus however much gold he's been sitting in lane soaking up. SKT looking to take out some vision. Blank's got this Rift Herald, so they have a couple options with this Rift Herald. They can put the Rift Herald in a side lane, and then that leads to pushing mid. And you get mid for free, and then you get the side lane tower at low health, or what I would call critical position. And Gnar is always going to be pushing in the top lane, so if Renekton is forced to move into another lane, then Gnar will get top lane as well. So I would, put Rift Herald bot, then push mid as 4, and Gnar pushes top. Because then someone has to deal with the Rift Herald, and Renekton has to stay top, so it's a 4v3 mid. It'll end up being 4v3 in the mid lane, and they can push onto that tower. Another option is to wait for Dragon, and then place Herald mid, and then because they're dealing with Herald, take Dragon for free. And let's I just wanna game state of the game. There's a 1,300 gold lead for SKT, and you could say that they have about 1,000 extra gold in stats, as far as terms of the Fire Dragon, and it may be up to like 1,500 gold. It's 1,000 to 1,500, and later in the game it'll be worth more. Okay. Ooh. Early BF sword coming out from Faker. 15 minutes, 16 minutes, still does not have tier 2 boots. Very, very interesting build path. Coming out from Faker. Oh, and it looks like the Rift Herald's going to be placed mid. This is going to be a 4v4 siege in the mid lane. We don't get to see Gragas. I don't know how much time Gragas has left on the Rift Herald. Because the one problem with Rift Herald is that you have to find an opportunity to use it. During the 4 minutes that you have it. So this is not really what I would call an opportunity, because it's not really what I would call an ideal Rift Herald, because it's a 4v4 siege, in which they don't want a 4v4. When they want a siege, they wanna drag them to some other lane so they can siege 4v3, or even 4v2, and out rotate them. But what I'm thinking is maybe the Rift Herald was about to run out, and that's possibly why they chose to put Rift Herald mid lane. Because walking up to this tower, you can see it. Zach is waiting. Zach is waiting for his opportunity. Do they get the tower, though? The tower is incredibly low health, but they do not get it. 2 auto attacks could get it. Although, here's what I see. This is a mistake by KT. Renekton left top lane to go mid lane because they thought that SKT were dumb enough to push 4v4. Ha ha ha. SKT did not make that mistake, and therefore Smeb roaming is the mistake. Because when Smeb roams, he loses top lane as well. And of course, these conditions are created by earlier mistakes. Because the earlier mistakes led to SKT getting a Fire Dragon. The earlier mistakes led to SKT getting Rift Herald. SKT has Rift Herald due to earlier mistakes that KT made, and therefore KT is stuck in between a rock and a hard place, defending mid and top, and not sure what to do because SKT has a very good siege comp. Blitzcrank, Corki Tristana, and Gragas. And then they have Gnar in the side lane. Sorry. So SKT picks up 2 towers, and their gold lead is actually increased to about 2,800. So that's going to be really good for them. They're also probably going to converge onto this dragon after they recall here. You might see Bang pick up, Infinity Edge. This is that Tristana build that's more focused on damage than DPS. The Burst Tristana. Corki is backing, right? Or no, Corki's not backing. Corki's pushing bottom lane, and then he's going to back. And he can get a lot of free damage on this tower here. The thing is, he doesn't exactly know where the rest of KT is. But what he does know is, look at all this vision that SKT has. He has vision of the entire jungle. Therefore, the only place that KT can come towards him is through the bottom lane, so he's able to take the bottom lane tower safely, securely, and he knows that there's no chance that he's getting collapsed on. Let's try and check out what just happened. So KT are trying to make aggressive plays because they need to, because the Talia and Renekton require you to get ahead. So they see Tristana's mid, so they push Tristana out to the side of the lane, and they're going to go for this mid tower. So this mid tower they might be able to get it? Huh. No. Okay. So here's my thought. When you're behind, it's better to play reactively. Because making aggressive plays becomes much, much harder because the risk factors become much, much greater when the enemy has more gold, more stats, more items, etc. Whereas the proper rotation for KT is to have someone bottom lane in the first place, because Corki is continuing to push, and Corki doesn't care about anybody rotating towards him because he knows that if anybody's going to come towards him, he's going to see it, and he has all this vision to make up for it. So KT trying to make an aggressive play. Now this would have been okay if KT got the mid lane tower. But remember about this tower positional advantage thing? KT want to keep their base looking like this. And if they were going to trade an inner tower, they'd want to trade it for bot lane inner tower. They would probably end up trading top lane inner for bot lane inner. That would lead them to have a tower positional advantage, or at least some kind of advantage, because SKT is always going to have the tower positional advantage because SKT has more towers. Or, well, there's a couple situations where having more towers doesn't mean you have positional advantage. But I don't need to explain that right now. What I need to explain the fact is they're giving up tower pressure on an inner tower for tower pressure on an outer tower, and they're not even getting the outer tower. Faker just stealing away golems, maximizing his gold. Faker actually 210 CS at 18 minutes and a half. Very impressive. Now, some of that CS is race and golems, so it's a little bit inflated, but the number is quite impressive compared to a 144 in Talia. Not very impressive. So Dragon is given away to SKT for free. KT didn't want to contest that, and it wouldn't have even been worth for Zac to try and smite steal, because one water dragon is generally not valued as highly for like one kill. Because if Zac goes in and dies, or Zac goes in and maybe gets the smite, because remember, it's a 50-50 smite, maybe gets the smite and flashes out, he still has to waste flash, and it's only a chance. It's a high-risk situation. There is another Infernal Drake. So if SKT continue to have... if SKT keep tempo... they'll get second Infernal Drake, second Infernal, and the game will be over. And you could even say that maybe the game's over now because SKT is a late game build, and you're not going to see Caitlyn scaling anytime soon, and Talia is so far behind that you're just not going to expect. They're not going to be able to expect them to do anything. The only thing that could happen right now is SKT goes for Baron and throws. There's another Corki package going to waste. Because, I mean... it wouldn't be surprising for SKT to go Baron, because remember, 1-3-1 allows you to have Baron pressure in all three lanes. They have the double teleport. They have 2 ADCs, so that they have high DPS onto Baron. So everything is set up for them to do that, and they have a gold lead, and they want to force a fight. And actually, the gold lead is 4,500 or so, or 4,800. It's tipping point for KT. I'm going to skip ahead here because we already know what's going to happen. SKT just keeps pressuring all 3 lanes. Like, look at this tower damage. That's mostly from Trinity Force. And look at this quirky build. Trinity Force, Infinity Edge, Tier 1 boots at 22 minutes. Very interesting, but very bursty. That's for sure. Oh my god, did you see that crit? That was a 700 damage crit. What the fuck? It was 600 magic damage and almost 200 fucking physical. It was almost 800 damage. And he's going to auto the tower, and look at that damage. He might be able to... Yep. This is just going to continue to happen until SKT is comfortable taking Baron, or they get a pick and then they force Baron. Oh, I think I'm about to run into... Score jumps in. Nothing happens. Oh, this will be interesting. No. Oh. Jesus. Hold on. Oh my god. Smited away by blank. Wolf is just on point this game. He knows exactly what to do at every time. Okay. Fire Dragon going to SKT. That's 2 Fire Dragons, and that's game. Because, okay, this is the natural gold lead. Like, we saw that the gold lead was only about 4,800, but now it's about 7,000. And imagine how much gold they're getting from double Fire Dragon right now. And I can tell you that it's probably at least 3,000. So there's about a 10k gold lead. So yeah, this game is 100% over. SKT is just very slow because they like to play safe and play around power spikes. As you can see, they're probably about to do something now because look at all the items they just finished. They just finished Frozen Mallet. They just finished Knight's Vow, Rapid Fire Cannon. Corki finally has Tier 2 boots, Quicksilver Sash, and Static Shiv. Everything is set up for them to go. Whoa, 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 hold on. Damn. Wolf is scary. Nara's pushing bottom, but he has teleport, and that's a tower. And you see almost a 9,000 gold lead. There's the Baron. Everybody backs. What's the next dragon? It's just water. They don't even need it. They set up the 1-3-1. The 1-3-1 is successful. Okay, so the Hail Mary play that should have came a lot earlier from KT by Zach engaging. Because if look, a message to ranked 5s teams. Or well, it's going to be extremely rare to come back against teams of similar skill level. Now this is a very this is my statement. Against teams, oh my god, I'm sorry. Similar skill level. Now that is a very malleable term. So I'll leave that up to your discretion. When at a 5,000 gold deficit. So if you're going, therefore, ergo, so whatever fancy word you want to use, Ergo, if you're going to make a Hail Mary play at all, which you should, do it at your earliest convenience. Figure out what your win condition is. Figure out if someone's fed, or if someone has gold, or if they have most of the gold on the team, or if they're the primary carry. Take them out. Figure out how to do it. Figure out your game plan, because you're good. If you're already at a deficit, if you are already losing the game and it seems grim, make a play. Make a Hail Mary play. And I know that, like, I'm not like religious or anything, but that's what they call it in football. So that's what I'm using now. I mean, you play Madden, you play Madden 2012. There's a set of plays called the Hail Mary plays, and they're like 80-yard passes. And 80-yard passes almost never are successful in real football. But in this game, the game ends when your nexus is destroyed. It's not a game of points. Therefore, you need to try and come back as soon as possible, because if you let a gold lead grow and grow and grow, it's going to get harder and harder and harder to win. So that's my message to competitive teams, if anybody's watching this video. But that's a really important message. And it's really important because you're either going to win as a team or you're going to lose as a team. But most importantly, you're doing it as a team. Anyway, Kakoma looks pretty happy. That's game 4. I'll be doing game 5 soon. Damn, it's late. But thanks for watching.